I'm Leon Thomas, and you're here for NRG This Week, where I'll be talking with Mike Weiner. He's the president and CEO of NRG, that's Network Referral Group. Welcome to NRG This Week. Here we go. Welcome again to NRG This Week. I'm Leon Thomas. I'm here with Mike Weiner. Mike, how you doing?
I am doing awesome, Leon. Good morning. How are you?
Everything is great. Good to have you with us again. So, Mike, let's jump right in and talk about a couple things. I used to teach sales classes, and one of the things we break things down into different segments of sales, and every company, every sales process or trainer, whatever, has their own 4-step, 5-step, or whatever. But every one of them has something called closing, right? How do you close the deal? Give us some tips on closing the deal. Give us the Mike Weiner tips on closing the deal. Go ahead, please.
No, I appreciate that question, Leon, too, because if you don't close the sale, you're not going to be in business long. So, sales really is find the need and fill it. And I remember many years ago, I was with my boss. We were in a copier situation, and he looked at the client and he said, basically, what do we need to do for you? What are your expectations? Tell us exactly what you're looking for in this copier. It was a big copier. It was $100,000 copier, and he asked very specific, pointed questions. And apparently, we had another sales rep in this account 3 years earlier, and they didn't get the sale. And because of the way that we worded the questions, the client told us exactly what we needed, what the pricing would be to get it approved for the budget. The other thing was really important was the delivery, because they actually were looking for something immediately. So it's very, very important in sales to ask pointed questions to find out what is important to your client, whether it's delivery, pricing, expectation, service. Leon, we closed that deal, and it was a $100,000 copier deal in less than 30 days. So, to the viewers, it's very important to ask the important questions. And if you don't know what those are, you need to prepare yourself, because that will put you in a position to win. And ultimately, when you close the sale, you need to think about you're serving the client. And that's really another part of the whole mindset of that.
hmm Mike, something else in regards to closing. I've been on the customer side of it. And I have many folks that have made great presentations to me, right? They say things like, so you said you wanted to buy 5 video cameras. So I have those 5 video cameras for you. And then they're stuck. Or they, in the hotel business, they talk about, we have X number of rooms in the hotel. I have them available when you need them. And there's never that time that they say, do you want to buy? When do you want to buy?
Right.
Who else is making a decision? It's nothing. It's just it's a presentation, a series of we haves, and never a do you want to buy? How do you get someone to go to the next step into that?
A couple of decades ago, Leon, great question. A couple of decades ago, I learned trial closing. And it's something that can be done as early in the beginning of, hey, if we've got the right product and the pricing is good, is there any reason you wouldn't move forward? And what that does is it isolates the objection, because then they may say, well, time. And then you say, is that the only objection? And then they say money. And you say, is there any other objections? And you basically, you peel the onion and use a real old sales term, and you find out what the objections are, and then you address the objections to the client's satisfaction. But you're so right, Leon. I know as running NRG, I've had folks come to me and they never ask for the order. And that's a real issue, because there's something wrong. Either it's a self-image area. When you sell a product, you have yourself, you have the company, and your service. And you know what? if one of those three areas is has a problem, whether it's you or the product or the company, if you're not positive and confident about all three, clients will see right through that. But sometimes you may need to ask for the order several times. It may not all be at the same meeting, but you're correct, Leon. People just absolutely freeze. And at some point, you need to ask for, I mean, even with NRG, I'm like, do you have enough information to move forward? Are you ready to jump on the exciting NRG team? You've got to have those questions ready to go. And if the client's not ready, they'll let you know. But the worst thing you can do is never ask those questions, because it shows a lack of sincerity and confidence in the selling professional's part.
Mike, let's talk about one other piece, and that's the daily routine. I hear many people saying that, oh, I'm in such a grind, particularly now with the closing out of the pandemic and everyone's still doing a lot here virtually. And I hear folks say, oh, I'm in a grind. I do the same thing over. It's hard to change my mindset over all of whatever that term is. And I read some information and heard others talk about how they start their day. Some it's with exercise. I have a friend who runs, he says, at least 6 miles before he
Wow.
starts working. And I'm like, hey, congratulations for you. That's not me. I might play 2 or 3 games of racquetball, yes, but I'm not doing 6 miles. Others start with meditation. You're a busy guy that's leading a corporation, right? How do you start your day? How do you start physically? How do you start mentally? What's the Mike Weiner tip on that?
Kudos to that guy for doing 6 miles, land, because that's not me, but I think that's amazing. You know what I do is a lot of mental preparation in the morning. I'm with you at 8 a.m. on Mondays, and most of my meetings start very early. I have a thing where I draw two lines in the sand in my mind. And I'm like, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of sayings, Leon. Yesterday's a canceled check. Tomorrow's a promissory note. All we have is today. You have got to be mentally engaged and ready. Today is Monday, February 14th. By the way, happy Valentine's Day to everybody out there. But you've got to, in my mind, I draw two lines in the sand. I'm like, today is going to be the best day ever. And I do that every morning, Leon, and it pumps me up. Some people use music. It could be the theme to Rocky, just happens to be my favorite song. But you've got to mentally get yourself there. And when you run a business or you're in sales, you have that ability to wake up in the morning and take control of your destiny. Don't say it's the economy or it's the pandemic or you can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't make both. So be responsible, be professional, get yourself together first before you interact with anybody. And that's one of my secrets, Lan. I draw two lines in the sand. Today's going to be a great day. Every week this year has been a little bit better. So I'm challenging myself. How do I become better? How do I smile? How do I influence people? How do I help and attract people?
All right, that's great information. Thank you, Mike.
My
Mike, you'll
pleasure.
be back here. We'll be back together next week for another episode of NRG This Week. I'm sure the information that was provided today is going to help someone improve their business, improve their sales, improve their mental process. Thanks, Mike. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
Folks, you just watched another episode of NRG This Week. I'm Leon Thomas. Thanks for watching NRG This Week.